Ladies and gentlemen, Vaush is a guy on the internet. We're going to be talking about Vaush video. He's talking about Bill Burr and Jon Stewart, who I sort of grew up with. I was Jon Stewart. If you guys don't know who Jon Stewart is, host of The Daily Show, second host, actually, of The Daily Show. After a guy no one remembers ran it for like 2 years. And then under Jon his stewardship, under Jon Stewart's stewardship, the show kind of fucking exploded. It was a massive success during the George W. Bush era. Like, it was fucking crazy. It popped off like nuts. And at the time, Jon Stewart very repeatedly said, "I'm concerned and upset, deeply concerned and upset that people get their news from me. I am a stand-up comedian and guy that was in a movie where my biggest line was, 'Have you ever looked at the sky on weed?' And that was one of my biggest credits before apparently becoming the voice of the American political left. You know what I mean? And he really was for the longest time. And most of the things that you like and don't like about political commentary online come from people that were mimicking or approximating or involving themselves in his style, right? They were trying to like capture what it was about Jon Stewart that made you want to watch. And Jon Stewart's era was the snark. It was the, we need to have a conversation, but like, I'm not going to have it where we're too overly polite stuff. It was a different era. If you watch 2001, like start era, you know, George Bush era Daily Show, and you're like, I've seen people go harder than this on fucking toast. Like, yeah, man. He was on a cable show in the fucking 2000s. And it was a different fucking era, right? And does stuff kind of get like washed out? Does it get like run down, all that stuff? Yeah. Things kind of hit a point where it's not as useful anymore, but you really cannot downplay Jon Stewart's legacy. One of the biggest things he did when he vanished from being on The Daily Show after like a decade of doing it was he fought tooth and nail in Congress and out of Congress for the 9/11 first responders bill, to support the consistently and constantly dying New York firefighters that were hailed as heroes, New York's finest, New York's best, who were poisoned by substances beyond imagination while the Twin Towers fell on and around them for hours. You know what I mean? The towers are falling for forever. The cloud of smoke and dust, everyone remembers that. There was a thing that was over New York City for months. I can't fucking remember how long. I can literally not remember how long, but it was just like every time you saw it, they were digging bodies out of the fucking rubble for basically until they stopped telling, they're like, look, as long as this rubble is here, we're going to keep finding pieces of people. And, you know, it was like, we stopped announcing it because everything past this, they're going to be skeletonized and shit by the end of it. So like, we don't even know what we're going to be able to dig out. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking crazy. And so he supported those people after that. Like, that's the kind of like era he came up with, which was weird. People were talking about stuff, but also you didn't have these kind of conversations even that he was having. He didn't talk about politics this way. One of my memories from J school in fucking 2012, I think it was a class that I did on like conduct and interviews and like notable things, was a woman journalist. I can't remember the exact context of it, but she had called out, was it Obama or Clinton? One of the two Democratic presidents of my lifetime. I think it might have been Clinton. And said that they had done something very bad. And then they were like cajoled into by that president, like apologizing to them for being too expressive basically in their language. And, you know, we're past that now, obviously. But that's the era he came up with. There was not a lot of like stronghold areas. It was the era when people started really taking stand-up comedians seriously at all. The 90s were the most unserious era for stand-up comics probably ever, right? That was the era of like sitcoms and stuff. So you would have people that were like on stage for a half a week, half a month, and then get a job because they could tell like one joke and they were good looking. Joe Rogan. And there was a lot of ventriloquists. If you ever watched the Comedy Central, like, hey, best of like 93, 15-minute cable thing, the shocking amount of ventriloquist stand-up comics will blow your mind. It was a lot of ventriloquist and prop comedy, okay? And then kind of like having respect for stand-ups kind of came in the 2000s when Comedy Central made, 15-minute and 30-minute specials like very prominent, and those would be on after and before. And so like our current rise of comedians talk about politics and people actually give a fuck about it on the national stage really comes from that era where you started seeing people like, oh, if you never heard of Lenny Bruce, like we have to tell you about who Lenny Bruce is so that you can really understand George Carlin. And we have to really, really tell you about, Bill fucking goddamn, what's his name? And she says, can I buy Coke? that fucking goddamn joke. And figuring out who all these people are and stuff. And so like the now current into the podcast era and current year America, Theo Vaughn and shit hanging out with Donald Trump, all of that comes from that era of Comedy Central. That shit popped off. That's not to say there weren't political comics. Obviously there fucking were. But usually political comics from that era were like risque and kind of really over the top. You know, some Lenny Bruce fucking, you cannot repeat a Lenny Bruce set. That's fucking dude, fucking 4chan would be like kind of like struggling at times to be like, what in the fuck did he say? Like, oh yeah, that didn't make it to the recording, but he did. Yes. And yes, he was arrested. It's high level shit. You know what I mean? So like it would be, and by high level, I mean like they would be in the papers as bad guys, and defending them from a distance is why you talked about stand-up comics, not this stand-up comedian is now the leading voice of politics for an entire generation. It's like the two most important things when I was in high school, politically, were Jon Stewart talking about fucking George W. Bush, and then this land is your land, this my land is my land, fucking like cartoon about voting. Those were the two biggest voices in politics in 2004. And they were actually very, very broad. And now the whole system has changed up. But understand, if we go into this video and that kind of isn't established, and it's just like, I don't really understand much about stand-up comedy, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Guys, you cannot detract from the history of Jon Stewart. You have no idea. He was pretty much the beginning of the end of Fox News being taken just raw seriously, because people didn't look at it. People didn't know about Fox News. They didn't know how like crazy and weird and stupid a lot of the people were. And he like fucked up motherfuckers' whole careers. Tucker Carlson turned into Tucker Carlson because of Jon Stewart. He railed him on a show called Crossfire about his bow tie, and you never saw fucking Tucker Carlson in the bow tie he was known for wearing ever again. Like, it was a thing. And it's kind of put a lot of the Republicans are still permanently semi on the back foot, trying to always find barbs and being funny, because before that they were supposed to be super serious. That was the era of like, Republicans are super serious. They are the adults. They tolerate liberals. They put up with your pie in the sky notions, but they are the adults. They are the ones you can trust with the wallet. They are concerned with expenditures. They are concerned with spending. Any implication of racism or stuff is just you not understanding that they have your best interests in mind, and you just don't get the world. And like these comedians, and especially like Jon Stewart and the people that are around him starting to highlight this stuff, really kind of opened the fucking can of worms on like the sort of the spiritual schizophrenia of the fucking Republican right, where it was just like, wow, you guys don't fucking stand for anything. And the era of debates I was talking about a couple days ago, where it's like 2014 to 2016 era YouTube, I've got to show you as a hypocrite. I've got to show you. That comes from that as well, because they were dead serious. It was before the current era, which is just like, oh, so you're just always going to fucking lie, obviously, whatever. And you can say that confidently because there was 15 years really of work hammering home that Republicans don't fucking stand for anything, right? They'll say like literally anything. But before that, people just legitimately believed that they were the sober, conscientious adults who really knew how the world worked. That statement you've heard, I was a Democrat until I, started having to pay taxes and I grew up, was really the fucking case. No, absolutely not Bill Engvall. Jesus fucking Christ. Here's your sign. No, Bill Hicks. Yes, Bill Hicks. Thank you. And that's kind of the case. The most serious movie of the 90s was The Matrix. Make of that. No, the most serious movie of the 90s was probably like Schindler's List, man. It was a decade, bro. What the hell? I know it was a joke. You're telling me Tucker Carlson had a Jonkler arc? Tucker Carlson was crazy, man. The old Fox News host shit was outlandish. The stuff that they would try to get away from. Get away with. And nowadays they don't try to get away with it anymore, but it's presented a different angle to the conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's much deeper. They were always going to go in this direction. And some of this might be too late, but like legitimately a lot of the tools you have to deal with Republican propaganda that exist at all these days are because of that era, right? Is it enough? And is it equivalent to a fucking general strike that completely revolutionized the country and installed communism by just a single word that someone could say? No, obviously not. But trust me, the America of 2001, where we wholeheartedly unified pretty much across the fucking entire spectrum, right and left, and went balls deep into a fucking whole ass 20-year-long war, was because of the inability of people to point out the ridiculousness of this stuff in an effective way. Because all you had before was like Ralph Nader walking around like, look, I got charts and facts and figures. You know what I'm saying? And it just didn't reach people. And so you needed a much more sophisticated apparatus that reached the grassroots people. And that's really what Jon Stewart did on accident. It wasn't like he was like, I'm going to change the world. He was shocked. He was like, I can't believe this is having this effect. This is not good. This is indicative of a deeply sick and unwell society, an uneducated, incurious, and terrified nation. And that's what he was dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And understand, the death threats were crazy back in the day, too. People would actually come and kill you all the time. They would just come kill you. You're like, that's the old doxing thing back in the day, was like, people would just give out your address and shit in an IRC chat, and then like they would go kill you because there was no cameras. And they would just go shoot you in front of your place of business. So like there was Tiller, the baby killer, is what fucking Bill O'Reilly used to say all the time. Tiller was an abortion doctor who gave abortions despite like public criticism of him, and he stood on his fucking his moral belief that it was a good thing to do. And they would talk about him being a baby killer every day until stochastic terrorism happened, and a guy went up and shot him to death. And that was the thing, because there was not as much cameras. There wasn't, you could get away with stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't have a phone in your pocket. They couldn't track you. If fucking the CEO slaying would have happened in 2001, you would have never heard his name in your fucking life. You would have never heard of Luigi Mangione. He'd been gone. Dust. People just killed people and vanished back in the day, like at a startling level. Usually you wouldn't even find out people died. You wouldn't find out how they're like, if you don't remember the 90s, they were finding bodies all the time. People are like, yeah, we started digging over here to build new houses. They're fucking mass graves. What? Did you ever figure out what happened to people? How the fuck would we know that? I wasn't here. It seems like they've been buried for like 40 years. We're just going to say, I don't know. I guess somebody wants to look into that, maybe. Like, that's what the 90s was like. So you did have to be on your P's and Q's a little bit more because, things were the way they were. There were problems that were worse. There's that are better now, and there's things that were better then that are worse now. But that's the atmosphere. So let's see what Vaush has to say about all this. I don't even know if he's old enough to have watched The Daily Show, because I'm barely old enough. I was probably too young, technically speaking, to have supposed to have been in the constant daily watch audience of a fucking political comedy program in the 2000s, but I watched it voraciously. Everybody I know did.
Jon Stewart. You guys have to stop mentioning Jon Stewart. The guy's really been pissing me off lately. By the way, Obama had aura. No, well, actually, that might be a good example. For a little bit, he actually did. That is true, yeah.
Start that again. That was like completely too quiet.
Jon Stewart. You guys have to stop mentioning Jon Stewart. You know, the guy's really been pissing me off lately. By the way, Obama had aura. No, well, actually, that might be a good example. For a little bit, he actually did. That is true, yeah. It just didn't translate into anything, but that is true. There was a period of time where he had aura, for sure. For 100% in 2008, he had aura. It was up until the midterms, basically. Though...
Up until the midterm? What the fuck? That's nuts. That's a crazy thing to say. He had aura. Like, he just had a good vibe and he didn't do anything is nuts. After all the shit I just said, obviously, I don't know if maybe he'll go into it. I talked for a while. Let's see what Vaush has to say about this stuff.
Nah, before the midterms, because he kowtowed pretty early on. I don't know. Like, it seems like Jon Stewart has been playing the enlightened centrist bit way the too much lately. Remember when I showed you guys, because a lot of you were like 5 years old, I showed you his like march to restore sanity, where in an environment where the Democrats were being weak, but the Republicans were being actively obstructionist, he marched out there and he was like, shouldn't we all get along? Isn't it just a crazy world or whatever? And he literally posted this clip, okay, or the Daily Show did. I mean, he didn't personally. I think what the media has done over the past 10 years is cry wolf to the point where they numbed everyone. Jon Stewart explains his POV on whether to call Trump fascist. This is unironically fascist apologia. Trump was always a fascist.
No, this is true. This is a good media take. This actually is the same take I gave about Vaush at the start of my channel. I don't think I released that video right away. And Vaush was calling everybody a Nazi too much. Like, and yeah, people were calling everybody a fascist too much when they weren't. Like literally, yeah, for like the 10 years, the word meant nothing because nobody had a fucking standardized definition of it. It was in every single direction, both sides, like literally the media in a general sense. It doesn't even mean necessarily just the left. I don't know if that's what he says in the clip, but like, yeah, people use those words too much in a non-descriptive way to the point where you can't recognize fascism when you see it. That's why there's support for Israel in the Israel-Palestine conflict. That's why you could say like, no, like the Israel people, the people of Israel are Jewish. They could not literally do fascism. They would know better. Like, and you're like, no, what? That is absolutely a real take. Yes. That's one of the biggest issues with lefties back in the mid 2010s was this like constant over exaggeration of most issues into calling them fascism instead of just focusing on it. So like the word itself doesn't mean anything because it's used too broadly and not just calling out specific things that are happening and why they are bad as opposed to just attaching a moral term to them, which would give you the ability to deal with the problem anyway. You just say like, oh, he's a fascist, he did thing, as opposed to he did this thing and this is bad because of this reason. And I think that this is like an act of fascism. You know what I'm saying? Or just abandoning it if it's not going to work. If it's not going to work.
Fascist. Whether or not he was ideologically a fascist is irrelevant. It was the byproduct of his neuroses. It wasn't they didn't cry wolf enough. In the run-up to 2016, the media mostly treated him like a joke. They didn't take him seriously enough. And then during his presidency, the only reason he didn't do more harm was because there were so many people in his own administration holding him back, you know? Adults in the room, neocons, people who were aware of how bad what Trump was doing you know?
What do you say to your critics who are saying that you're being light on the fascist message recently?
Oh, I tell my critics, shut up. You're a fascist. No. So
copyright audio, copyright video.
Because I understand the desire, but like I'm very big on, and I know it's annoying, but specificity and nuance. And I think if you cry fascism at every administrative overreach, even the ones that are constitutionally okay, you will find yourself out of fascism bullets when the time really comes.
This is, you could literally.
I agree with that, and it's actually the thing I said. I didn't pre-watch this. I don't follow him as much anymore because I got other shit to do. I don't fucking care anymore. I gave him like 10 years of my life. Yeah, that's the point I was making. Legitimately, yes. Just substituting all of actual substantive criticism and removing that just to use a single word to deal with shit is the same thing as just, it's the Sam Hyde thing. I just say a slur. Literally just, why would I ever want to react to you? I'll just say a slur, which is okay if you're on the side that can just ignorantly push forward. But if you're trying to make a point about the inefficacy of a platform, or you're trying to prove something that people would find like a dubious assertion, like, okay, so this guy's like equivalent to like Benito Mussolini or other fascist governments, or like a Hitlerite type dude. How is that specific thing this way? And then usually the response to that is, oh, well, you can't tell, then you must be a fascist too. And that was the irritating thing that people did do for the past decade or so, especially on fucking YouTube and other video hosting platform services and Tumblr and Twitter and all that shit. It's just an ineffective way to argue the point. It just literally is. Yeah. Unironically, calling Donald Trump a fascist all the time and not adding something to it is just trying to make salt soup, and you don't even have fucking water in the pot. It's like, I put the flavor in there. Everybody likes salt. Are you saying salt doesn't belong in soup? No, there's just other ingredients that you need to make this thing the thing you think it is. And if all you can add is salt, because all you got is salt, then you're not gonna fucking make it. You know what I mean? No one's gonna want to fucking engage with that dish. A raid by Psy? That's awesome. Oh, Psy raid? Oh, hey. What's up? Thank you very much for the raid. Thank you. I didn't even notice. My thing that's supposed to tell me didn't go off. So welcome guys. Welcome. We're talking about mostly comedy. I might be roasting Vaush a little bit here, but like, yeah, this is the point. This is the point of standby.
Literally make this argument about presidential military action without congressional approval. Oh, well, you know, the president has the constitutional authority to deploy the military in emergency times, which can be contingent upon designation as a terrorist organization. So actually, like, the fact that the president no longer needs congressional approval to declare war, that's actually fine. Like, this is pathetic. It's pathetic.
Is that what people are saying? Hold on.
Remind people of, because you will
designation as a terrorist organization. So actually, like, the approval. Oh, well, you know, the president has the constitutional authority to deploy the military in emergency times, which can be contingent upon designation as a terrorist organization. So actually, like, the fact that the president no longer needs congressional approval to declare war, that's actually fine. Like, this is
nobody. Is he saying that's fine? That like Vaush is a fucking idiot. He's just mad because he's taken away Vaush like one powerful ability, which is, hey, he's gonna say the word again. Come on, Bart, say the word. Yeah, Bart, say it. Come on, Bart, say it. Vaush, say the word. Yo, say it. Yeah, come on, say it. Trump is a fascist. Yeah! Oh, fuck, it's the Simpsons thing. You know what I mean? He's taking that one fucking bullet out of your thing. Literally just stop it. Just say it. Stop saying it. Who gives a fuck? If you're a fascist, fascist things are bad without the application of the label. That's kind of the point. You don't need the label. The label is bad because of what's underneath it. So really the proof for it is what's at the top. This goes back to the like Elon Musk doing a fucking Nazi salute. It's a nothing burger to report on because he's clearly a fucking Nazi piece of shit, right? But like either people are going to see it on their own and go like, yeah, or they're not going to care. So you got to just focus on all of the things that are fucking him up and and that he's screwing up and that are bad about him. Like real tangible shit convinces people. You never say like Nazis are bad because they're Nazis. We know what Nazis are because we all watch fucking Indiana Jones and Schindler's List. You know what I mean? Or you've actually read a history book and you don't experience history through movies. You know, you say Nazis are bad because in your mind, Nazi has attributes that you know that Nazis did. And now you're metaphorizing with someone else. If you just give the label, what you're lacking is all of the things that you know about Nazis that you're not actually carrying over and proving. You're saying, well, I see what I see, and you're not catching up, right? Then you've got to start adding all of that stuff in. It's not sufficient enough to say just the one thing if you can't observably, noticeably say all the other shit. If you're stacking up all the attributes, well, he did this, he did that, blah, 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 then do it. And if you find yourself in a fucking, what is it, Man Ray and Patrick situation where it's like, so he wants to destroy Congress. Oh, yeah? And he's going to use the military to put in a permanent martial law. Yeah? And he's going to do all of this for his own personal benefit and put people into camps. Yeah? And if someone did all those things, they would be a Nazi. Yeah. So he's a Nazi. I just don't see it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Either you're arguing yourself hoarse against somebody that doesn't give a fuck about it, and they're already agreeing with the other stuff, so just stick with that. Or like, like maybe they already get it. That's kind of the ultimate point here, is the nuance and the approach based on things that people are doing that you could stop gets lost when you just stick with calling everybody a fascist because, in a lot of times, not because they're being fascist, but because they're doing something that vaguely sort of kind of feels like it, but then you can't get any deeper than that. And if you don't want to get any deeper because you just want to fucking yell at somebody, go ahead, but it's got its limits. You know what I mean? You can feel the way that you feel, but if it's not having the effect to just say that thing, then you got to do other stuff as well.
This is pathetic. It's pathetic.
To remind people of, because you will, I think what the media has done over the last 10 years is cry wolf, to the point where they
saying this when the right completely controls the media, when Fox News is by far the largest like news show and independent media has been completely broken in by the right, to the point where the oligarchs who own social media are literally just attending Trump events and palling around with them.
numbed everybody.
I know it's super quiet. I'm sorry. That's the clip they posted.
It was an anesthetic. And it got to where, what was the thing they litigated throughout this campaign? He's a fascist. He's a terrible person. Democracy is on the ballot. Guess what lost at the ballot? If you told us democracy is on the ballot, well, democracy got its ass kicked.
Like, what is the point here? The Democrats mounted ineffective.
The messaging is bad.
Resistance, so they should have been even less effective. Like, the Democrats did a bad job pushing back against Trump, so as a consequence, like, we were wrong to call him a fascist. What does that even mean?
Yeah, literally. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, in socialism, particularly Marxism, you have like dialectical materialism, right? Or materialism as a whole. So like materialism means that your idea for how to do something begins and ends with the material world, right? You have ideas in the middle there, hypotheses. It's very much like the scientific method. If you try something and you know why it should work and then it doesn't work, then somewhere along there, you start with a material premise. I want this to happen and I want this to occur, right? And so if you do something and you expect the result and the result doesn't happen, then somewhere in there you say, well, made a mistake. So what he's saying is, yeah, the messaging that you used didn't work. So stop using that messaging because it doesn't work. It's like you have someone who is operating at like a 10th at best of what fucking Jon Stewart could accomplish on an off day. Do you know what I mean? With like crowd maintenance and like comedy and actually understanding the situation. Trying to say like, oh, I just don't understand this. I don't understand this. Well, you might want to shut the fuck up, because I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way that Jon fucking Stewart is talking about politics just out of his ass. That's I know your purview. But like, this is another thing I keep hearing again. This is just words. These people are just saying words. None of this makes sense. This doesn't like match with like reality. At a certain point, if you feel like somebody that's like this effective, like one of the most effective communicators, by the way, of the millennia, current, like of the last 25 years, one of the most effective political communicators, period. He made the careers of some of the other largest, most effective political commentators, period. His influence on the system is the reason you even have like the Young Turks, and by virtue of that as well, like Sam Cedar and stuff, who people you started paying more attention to. He's like, oh wait, comedians do? Before that, if you're like, I'm a comedian that talks fucking politics, people are like, you know? And now that he mainstreamed that shit, people are like, yeah. Like, oh, I don't know if you know this, but fucking Sam Cedar was on Air America before. He was on there with fucking what's his fuck that lives out there, that sad piece of shit. I can't remember that fucking show anymore. I interviewed the guy when I was in college too. I can't even remember. Mark. Where's my name? Mark Mallory? I can't remember. But the guy that's in LA that's a lib that has a podcast that's not fucking Bill Burr.
Vote. So I'm very cautious about when to know, like, yeah, hopefully I won't do it the night after Crystal knocked. I'll get it but it's like, when do you put your dog down? Like, it's one of those things, like, you're not quite sure. But I do understand how annoying.
Wasn't this about aura? Does being wrong negate aura now? Well, I'm mostly talking about him being wrong, but also the way in which you're wrong can negate aura. Yeah. This isn't like a sturdy, principled position. This is weak kowtowing. It's pathetic. He used to have more aura. I think he's right in the sense that right-wing media has cheapened those words, but he didn't say that, though. That would be the opposite of the point that he made, you know? Yes, I did hear Bill Burr would be the opposite of the point that he made. Right-wing media has cheapened those words, but he didn't say that, though. That would be the opposite of the point that he made.
Too, right? I don't know, but like, still, that wouldn't be the opposite of the point he made. Yeah, everybody says those words too much. They do cheapen it. It's literally just me having the exact same conversation as the Nazi salute stuff again, where everyone's like, no, it's a Nazi salute. It means like a lot. Like, he's a Nazi then. Okay, fine. But like, people say this every time. Like, if you haven't been following politics and this is your first blush with like politics, since I was a kid, people have taken screenshots or freeze frames of politicians, people, and shared it. That's why, like, literally when it happened, everyone said, oh yeah, Elon Musk did this, and then look at all these other people putting their hands up, and you're like, no, it's shit on video, it's better. Like, yeah, okay, I believe you. Like, yeah, I think Elon Musk is a Nazi. I wish only the worst for him. Shout out Luigi. I'm not even kidding. I'm not selling myself short there. Like, I fucking hate the guy. But it's not an effective way to communicate the point that you're trying to articulate, because everyone else is just literally showing you, look, I can do that too. And also, it doesn't really prove a lot. It just literally does not prove a lot. Like, you can have a dog do that, and the dog is not a Nazi tankula thing. And maybe you will overextend your fucking hand, and you'll fuck up your ability to, like, talk about the actual issue at hand if you hyper-focus on something that no one gives a fuck about. Because it's not... Mark Maron, thank you. It was the guy I was talking about before. No one will give a fuck. No one will give a shit because it's a fucking hand gesture. When the Nazis were around, it was the least important thing on a day-to-day basis that people were concerned about when the Nazis were running Germany. When the Nazis were running Germany, people weren't going like, man, I really hate these guys because of that fucking hand gesture. That's driving me up the fucking wall. No, it was all the other stuff they were doing. There was a few other noticeable attributes that they had that were more concerning, and also the reason that people actually hate the Nazis, and the thing that you point out when you want to say, like, why were they bad? And you don't go, look, he did the thing. So why do you do it the other way? You understand? Like, if you can't have that hammered home, you're never going to be an effective political communicator, because you don't understand how to view the situation past you wanting people to immediately agree with you because you noticed a thing, and you're parroting somebody else that you fucking respect. That's it. You respect someone else, and then it's going to be the level of respect and the gauge. Well, I don't know. And then you start doing the things, and I'll see it in the fucking comments section. People weighing, why he did this much, you do that. So how could he not? Blah, 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 blah. And then you never get to the point. You try to do the thing you actually should be doing against them with anyone that's telling you it's even if it is a big deal, no one gives a fuck. That's the point. And that's political communication. You've got to say a thing that changes someone's mind. It doesn't even necessarily have to be true, right? That's a gamble you can take. It doesn't have to necessarily be the whole truth. Sometimes it has to absolutely be the whole truth. Sometimes it has to be an unassailable fact connected with other ones. There is a story in the head of every single person you'll ever come across in your life. A story in their head. And you have to be able to change the entire direction of that story, or at least have them consider the validity of the direction that story in their head is taking. And if you don't take steps to consider them and their concerns more important than yours for 2 fucking seconds, enough to say, oh, wait, maybe they don't give a fuck about the thing that's the most important thing to me, and I actually do have to make an appeal to them that considers who they are for 5 fucking seconds. If you can't do that, you're worthless. Not you're flawed, not you're like, oh, what, I donate time. No, you're worthless as a fucking political communicator. Worthless. You're worthless. You're never good at it, actually. People are only listening to you for the wrong reasons. More than likely, if you start having some level of self-introspection, you'll go, fuck. Actually, it's not the thing that I care about that makes people look at me and pay attention to me. It's a completely different thing that I'm not maintaining active control on, and I'm actually terrified about it falling apart because then people will listen to me in the other direction about a different thing. Oh, shit. Yes, you have now stumbled upon the most basic understanding of being a political grifter. You're here now. Congratulations. You arrived at, oh, I've been grifting. Wait, can I grift and not make money? Yeah, man. You're an unpaid bitch for somebody else. You're a fucking chatter. You're somebody else's fan coming in here to spread their shit for no money and fucking advertise their content on somebody else's platform. Yeah. Fuck. All the whole time? Yes. You fucking intern. God damn it.
You know? Yes, I did hear Bill Burr, seemingly the only stand-up comedian who isn't a Hitlerite.
The people that are struggling out there because of these f***ing billionaires, and they got us all arguing liberal and conservative. We got to stop doing that. Like, I am so tired of hearing about people going to bed worried about what's going to happen next week. There is so much f***ing money in this country, and there's so much work being done, you know. And if you work a full fucking week at a job, you should be able to pay your fucking rent. You shouldn't have to go out and get a fucking job and still be struggling.
What's he saying with the beeps? Not
it's
bad
bad
words,
for the country, because then the kids don't see their parents, and they're not getting the upbringing that they need to.
And but to the,
I heard this a bunch of times.
Adopt.
Bill Burr's base. Gotta put them down like fucking dogs. Trust me, if Bill Burr has said something, I've almost certainly heard it. He just did the thing calling every comedian a Hitlerite. Yes, literally. Also, thank you for pointing that out for me. Yeah, Vaush did the thing. This is literally what Jon Stewart's talking about. You take the juice out of the word. You live in a fucking bubble. You sit in your little fucking sounding chamber and you say stuff, and your fucking audience of agreeable dipshits claps along with you. He said the thing. That's it. You did it. He did it in the same fucking. Say it, Bart. Bart, say it, Bart. Come on, Bart. He's a Hitlerite. Ah, you know what I mean? Like. And there's something to be said about like loose talk and shit and fucking around, but like this is something you can hear with Vaush all the time. It's reactionary content. He does reactionary content. I think he's trying to do I'm just like his son for real. I'm doing agitprop, but he's just a fucking pervert that happens to have to be on my side of the aisle because they're the ones that let him do the pervertry that he wants to engage in to some degree, right? It's not because he's some sort of principled individual. His standpoint the whole time has been like, we should just kill people that I don't agree with. Like, if you go back to Destiny interviewing him or debating him at the start when he was still like Irish laddie or whatever, it was, yeah, I think it's permissible to kill people because da-da-da-da-da. It's like not even like really like, well, would that actually fix it, or you just want to kill anybody that fucking steps outside the system? Because that's psychotic. You know what I mean? The sounding change. Oh God, you guys are fucking weird on the internet. I swear to God, dude. Like, so fucking weird. People. Oh my God. So the issue is, yeah, it's too much, right? And here's the part, like, I've listened to plenty of Vaush stuff. That's a constant issue with his commentary. He does go to Hitler all the time. Whether it's correct or not, like, there are varying shades. So when you just constantly color everything with the same shade, you know what I mean? Then it's just one fucking thing. From everybody from Donald fucking Trump, right? Everybody from Donald fucking Trump to Professor Flowers, who I don't even like. Don't worry, I don't even like that. Hold it, she fucked it up. To Professor Flowers, they're all Hitler, right? It's oops all Hitlers all the time. Hitlerite, the only non-Hitlerite comedian, I guess. And it's like, oh yeah, it's a joke, but it's like, dude, when is it gonna be funny? You can't be telling me about jokes, and then I'm watching this fuck and his goddamn brand of comedy. Billy Burr's on his stage right there. Like, I've seen good comedy, right? It's you know, and if your fucking messaging is completely indecipherable from the jokes, you don't have a moment, like you don't have even the, can I just meet you over here at camera 3 for a second? Hey, America. You know, like, let's take it down. Not like, it doesn't happen. It's just the same level. It's lazy dipshittery, right? And I there's nothing else to it. That is the problem. That is the problem, right? By the way, thank you, Linguini, for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you very much.
You know, maybe they can cut it a little bit to the, you know, the needs of censors, but like, yeah, essentially. By the way, it's not like Republicans don't do this. Republicans take this kind of messaging except with like trans teachers in elementary schools or whatever. Now that's Aura. That is Aura. 100%. Yeah. He also defended Luigi. Based. The Democrats kneecap Bernie. You think they'd allow this rhetoric though? Corvos here.
I feel like we're past that. Are we? Was that like a 4-year-old talking point? I'm sorry. It's not like it's not legitimate, but like trans teachers feels old. Did that not feel old? Like we had to go to a trans issue for some reason? For some reason with Vaush's audience, specifically, he's P-panders, right? There's nothing wrong with trans people. But like, isn't that an odd? There's specific things happening right now. Like, do you know what they do with it? They say that like American fascism is the other side is doing fascism because they want to not hold fucking they want to try to hold Donald Trump to a different standard than they hold Joe Biden because of illegal FISA warrants. And they, you know, you guys are Nazis because you let fucking pervert Hunter Biden off. Like those are the more relevant ones. You know what I'm saying? Like that's on it right now. It just straight that's just not a thing that's come up. It just feels like you're out of the news a little bit. There's other things to talk about right now. Is all I got to like. It is very strange. Matt Walsh types still do that. Fair enough. Matt Walsh is. I haven't looked at any. I don't cover Matt Walsh shit anymore. He's enough to be a piece of shit, but he fucking copyright claims everything. So it's just like, yeah, he's same piece of shit. Content's no good to talk about because he copyright claims literally everything, all the way to like the max level.
Here's the thing you have to understand, okay? It doesn't matter what they allow. You just have to do it. Super delegates are a thing still. Yeah, and just keep at it. Just get. I mean, what's your suggestion then? We just die forever? We rot? Crows pick our eyes out of the ground? What are you talking about? Oh, the Democrats are internally biased against progressives. Yeah, I know. We're aware. What are you going to do? Become not progressive so you can win? Ken Martin put out a memo to Democrats about some.
So, on the right, there's something called hiding your power level, and that is what you do. You hide your power level. You just don't say all of the shit that you think the second it comes to your head so that you can accomplish stuff. And they know that they do that, and they let each other get away with it to a degree. You know what I'm saying? So you don't immediately fucking try to excise every single person that's not like 100% in lockstep with you at all times, which is one of the biggest fucking shortcomings of online lefty communities and apparently real life lefty communities, because you can't even fucking find, you cannot accrete more than 5 leftists together without coming up with like a polycule and a sex offender. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, in this fucking era now, or a sex past. We'll just say sex past. Wait, you go to your local PSL. And like, do they meet? Like, fuck no. It's a Minecraft server. Like, what? You got to hide your power level about shit. Just learn how to approach normies, and then and then understand what political effectiveness is. Get deeper into it. The biggest issue really with lefties not being able to approach fucking Dem politics isn't that the Dems don't give a fuck about lefties because the Dems are too good for them. It's because lefties are fucking worthless at doing shit and presenting themselves as valuable members of a compromising, unified force. You always say, like, no, I'm not going to do, like, literally is what Vaush just said. No, you're going to stop being a lefty? Like, hide your power level. Compromise on the less important aspects of your overall platform in order to achieve shit. Do not stand up and raise your hand every time somebody says, we have a moment for comment. That's actually, yeah, that's what it is. If you're a lefty, when someone says, we have a time for a comment, if anyone wants to give a comment, you are only permitted to do that 1 in every 5 times for the rest of your life. Okay? Hey, Tyler, do you think I should not keep sharing my message? If you had to ask why you have to shut up and I don't even know you, you have to shut the fuck up. You probably have a deep shut the fuck up problem. That is the issue. Yes. You're not valuable. And it's not, you don't have money, you know that. Okay, fine. But also you can't be quiet for like 2 fucking seconds and let other people talk so you can figure out what the fuck is going and then like get into their shit. You just show up. I want the world to be the way I want it to be. Hang back. Be a real G and move in silence like lasagna. I'm like, Tyler, you're trying to silence my message. No one's listening already, so shut the fuck up. If you don't know why no one's listening to you and you keep rattling on, right? When you be quiet, you might find some other issue that's getting in the way of people hearing you. So take it in. Cool down. Settle off. Let the steam boil off for a couple minutes. What's going on here? Think about it. Take a second. Matter of fact, take 5B. Think before you fuck a little skateboard beat. Calm down. Listen. Volunteer. And keep your nose down. Keep your head down and your nose clean. You ever heard those things? And like, it's like, oh, it applies to everything except for my fucking personal political issues that I think should be more valuable than an entire machine that will literally grind me into dust if I fucking am not amenable to the way that it operates, and I'm not amenable to the way it operates. So I'm just going to sit here and just like give $10 a day to Vaush and say like, could you please talk about ties again? Or please not talk about ties, however it is. You have to make sacrifices. I already sacrificed so much. Sacrifice more. Die for what you believe in. Yeah, literally, if you have to. All I got to say is figure out what the situation is and then do stuff. Tyler, are you saying every time? Absolutely. No. Stop asking for fucking excuses. You know I'm right. Stop fucking asking for excuses to permit you to keep being useless. That's what you hear half the time. But what if, are you saying, yeah, whatever, who gives a shit? Hate me. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to donate to you. I don't care. I have what I believe in, and then I believe in it. And then I just say shit, and I do shit. This is where I am. If you don't like where I am, go away. Or talk shit about it or something. But if you're out there and you're like, I don't feel like I can get anything done, be quiet, think, and move moment by moment, step by step, day by day. Every time over a different kind of way. The deeper we go, the stronger we stay till we make it better. The second time around. Fucking in my head right now, these goddamn jingles. That's what people need to do more often. That's the problem. Yes, you do need to be less leftist. That's what compromise is. Okay? You're still you. Let me tell you that. What? Really? Yeah. Think of it this way. You're like a cool guy. You're a spy. You know, like James Bond doesn't really like the people that he's trying to kill and like take out, but then he acts like nice to them and smiles and he's polite and he washes his ass and wears a suit because he's James Bond. And yeah, there's like misogyny and shit. I just know that's probably the spy that you know about. I didn't watch enough Kim Possible. That was after my time for you fucking weirdos in Vaush's community. That was a dark joke. That's the point. Yes, be an actual political operative. Hide your power level. Do people that fucking engage in politics tell everyone what they're doing all the time? No. You all freaked out about, I think he's a crypto Nazi. He's a crypto Nazi. And then we go to you and you're like, could you be a crypto communist? Are you telling me to deny my truth? Like, yeah, actually, I am. Yes. So that you can get something done. Get in there all the way. And then when it's time for you to start making decisions, let everyone go, oh, have a real Ethan Klein moment. You need to start giving libs their Ethan Klein moment. Unironically, Ethan Klein's a fucking idiot, but if it's that easy, start doing that. I didn't know they were a communist. They got so deep into the party. Just like all of the Mormons, Scientologists, Nazis, Ku Klux Klan members, evangelical Christians, Opus Dei Catholics. They're just not telling us all of the things that would make me less inclined to support or allow them to rise through the ranks. And then when they got power, they accomplished their own goals instead of the ones that are counter to what they want. And then I tell you guys this, and people are like, I can't. I don't know if you know this, but my foot has been a cat since I was born, and my cat foot paralysis makes it impossible for me to do things like that. And you saying I can do a thing and I don't feel. I just want you to coddle me and tell me it's impossible and say that they're Nazis and make me comfy. No, fuck you. That's not the stream you're watching. Die for dark side. Die for your cause. Suffer. Sacrifice. Let the world that comes after you be shaded by the 1,000 trees you planted and never saw sprout. I don't fucking care how hard your life is, because it's not mine. I don't have to. And it's, oh, wow, what? What? Yes. And you shouldn't care about mine. We don't know each other. Are you going to do the thing that we need you to do to accomplish the goal or not? Can I use you? Can you be used? No? Then get out of here. You say my voice isn't valuable? Yes. Shut up. You're not valuable. Don't need to hear from you. Sorry. Fuck, does that hurt? Yeah. Not everybody's cut out to do shit and make things happen. You might need to be quiet in order for everybody else to get ahead. Fuck. That hurts to hear. Yeah, that's what being in the military is like for 5 fucking seconds. Are you hurt or are you broke? I'm hurt. Then get the fuck up and walk. I'm broke. Then get out of here. You're done. Can't use you. Stop being in the fucking way. If you don't know what it's like to fucking hobble the fuck out of everyone else's path because you don't want to get in the way of them doing some shit, and that's a fucking alien concept to you, that's what all this fucking, I have to hammer that home, that is what his fans are like, then you are a fucking detriment to everything you value. All of it. Even the things you think aren't at risk. You're fucking bad for the cereal you like, motherfucker. You're selfish. And yeah, you had a bad life, whatever. You had a hard day. Tyler, you don't know what it's like growing up. Who the fuck gives a shit? No one knows what it's like to be you, okay? And $5 says I can find another person that had it rougher than you who's a happier fucking dog every goddamn day he gets up. Oh, man, I love walking around. I got double cat foot disease. I got triple cat foot paralysis. I don't give a damn. All I do all day is draw beautiful pictures with my fucking mouth on a... Look, I drew another lily. Okay. Look at that guy. I like him. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? That's politics. If you want to go be pitied, okay? If you want to go fuck the pity party and shit, log off where I can't find you. I hate a pity party. There's nothing more disgusting to me than me pitying someone, right? It makes me feel bad for you because I don't want people's pity. That's an insult to me. So if that's what you want, go fucking find it somewhere else. I don't give a fuck off. I don't give a shit. Piss off. Well, you're not really trying to drag me into your thing. Trust me, one of you is going to drive away 10 of the more valuable people. That's how fucking awful that sentiment is. Keep that shit to your fucking self. Yes, hide your power level. Be a spy. You're a secret agent now. Ooh, it's Among Us, but with you get more rights. Remember Among Us? You had fun with the Among Us children? It's Among Us with more rights. Did you go around in Among Us like, I am just letting you all know that as a monster, I'm pretty upset about getting vacuumed out into space all the time. Whomp! Fucking idiots, dude. Go do your job, pretend to be a little astronaut, and then when you get your moment, do the thing that you've been setting up for. It might take my whole life. Yeah, dipshit. It's politics. It's for keeps. It's everything on the table. It is literally how society is organized and run. That is how you win. Oh my God. Tyler's searching the universe for the anti-left equation on his war world of VOD demons. Dude, I kind of... Die for dark side. Oh my God.
Something. I'm bored already. What is this? Who gave me this? BGL? What is this? Ken Martin sent a memo to all elected Democrats saying unions must be the backbone of our fight, Vaush. Pretty base, worth a read. Where are the pictures? Yeah, single space? Lamau?
Bro, this is, somebody was making fun of, I'll let him go.
What do you mean Lamau? You think I'm joking? Bottom line, in his first term, Donald Trump relentlessly pursued policies that harmed working families, but his first month back in office proves he was just getting started. Trump and his billionaire backers are hell-bent on attacking working families and dismantling the unions to protect workers in order to enrich themselves. As Democrats, it is our responsibility to stand up for the working people, unite behind the kitchen table issues that connect us all. As I take over chair of the DNC, union workers and labor leaders will be the core to my decision-making. As Trump wages his war on working families, Democrats will fiercely answer the call to my favorite old union song, Which Side Are You On?
That's... Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to fucking Vaush. That's actually a good point. If you're the kind of person who loudly says, I would hide Anne Frank in my attic, understand she would not be safe in your attic. I know that's not like a necessarily like a logical follow through, and it's a bit of like a one of those truism type vibes, but that is actually kind of a fire statement. That is, yeah. Could you hide a secret person without virtue signaling, or would you have to tell everybody you were a good person in order to do it? That's kind of, man, that's a motherfucker right there. Let's watch a literal baby. Was that Where Are the Pictures a joke or a for real thought? There's no way to tell anymore. When we get into the ASAP Rocky segment, go ahead and look at your screen and then press back until you see ASAP Rocky on my screen.
I'll tell you what, Democrats are on the side of the worker. We will show Americans every day that workers do, in fact, have more power than any billionaire. That's nice. I like that. The messaging divide, however, that's the important one. The messaging divide's the important one. Like, here, you have the point, right? But how do you do it? That's the difficult part. I fundamentally believe our party is grounded in the values, principles, and aspirations of the working class. My take is that, like Biden, he will be the best of my lifetime and still not be able to meet the moment. Yeah, because like being pro-working class is one thing, but it's about like the messaging strategy. It's about how you approach people. It's about how you get that out there. And again, like none of this means anything unless it's bound to get. You need a binding agent, like with making cake batter, okay? And the binding agent here needs to be hatred and mockery and scorn, okay? Enough of the kitchen table politics bullshit. Enough of the, hey, we've got the better policy bullshit. No one gives a fuck about policy, okay? What people want is narratives, main characters, big bombastic moments, okay? We want big dramatic speeches. We want, you know, ships capsizing.
My man Vaush just wants fascism. This is the thing that hurts people the most when I tell you, like, did you know that you can do fascism from the left? And as a matter of fact, that's where it started, because that's how it was around, and they get pissed. Every time you hear that and people are pissed about it, understand that I was always right. It is the most obvious thing in the world. Yes, fascism started on the left. It's an act of socialism. It's a departure from it. Vaush is literally arguing for a strongman candidate. That's what he wants. Every fucking socialist that is actually incapable of doing all the work for them inevitably also arrives at fascism, because what they want is a strongman who will get rid of all the bad people, all the Hitlerites, right? Vaush is unironically literally a fascist asking for a strongman to come in, give bombastic speeches, make everybody happy, and then you can follow them, which is how you get a fascism. That's how you do it. Because actual real political actors and anybody that's that level of charismatic also knows how to hide their power level, because hiding your power level is part of being a person who talks to people, right? It's how you engage. It's actually the heart of charisma. The actual heart of charisma is being able to ignore who you are and take other people into you and talk to them actually. So every single charismatic person you've ever seen in your life can hide their power level better than you could possibly imagine. And the more charismatic they are, the more they can do it. Which is why saying I want a charismatic, bombastic, big speech-giving person. What we need to do is, there's a people among us, and I know I don't need to say who they are, because we know. You felt bad. You have felt robbed. You have felt the darkness of these times seeping into you, into your bones. You know that there's a thing that we need to do. A question that needs to be answered. A last question that needs to be asked, and a final solution. It always gets what it is. What you really want is a guy that's going to fucking get people together and then go kill some people. That's what that is. Vaush has been saying it the entire time. Vaush is actually legitimately a fascist. But because people don't understand what the fuck fascism actually is and they've never looked it up, they don't realize it. And then he does the thing. I want a big bombastic guy. I want charisma. I want violence. I want people to hurt motherfuckers' feelings and then carve it up. I want bombast and charisma and strength of character. Everyone who is not engaged in a conversation of one-sided violence against my enemies is my enemy. Yes, yes, the Hitlerites. We got to wipe them out. We have camps, little areas. We figured out that we can separate them from their property they don't need to have and their businesses that they couldn't run anyway because they are horrible business owners. They mistreat the good people of this country. And we'll concentrate them in these little camps, right? And at that point, we'll dissolve their populations until they are no longer a burden on the rest of us. You see these worthless eaters, these dogs, these parasites, these fleas, these undermen and underwomen. They speak out of turn about us and have done too much wrong to us for too long a time. And when we have created these concentrations, and you see how beautiful of a place we can build with their corrupting and foul influence removed, then you will know true peace. We will all know true peace. But first, a great war has to be fought. And maybe I am not the man who will fight it, but amongst you are the brave few, true, pure individuals amongst us who know in their hearts what is and isn't right. You will bring up your arms, and you will carry on as our deified heroes, as our gods and kings, our sainted and true ones. You will carry on their mission, blood and honor, until it is done. And then you're like, am I fucking literally, which is it? Hitler? Is it Stalin? Are we talking about Vaush? What? It's all of them. Because if you don't mitigate that influence at the start of socialism, you inevitably go straight to fascism. It is a populist movement based on the construction of an appropriate society. And everyone gets mad at me because every time you have to actually consider it, because you thought like just me saying I'm a socialist means I'm not a fascist. And then they're like, I don't know if you understand this, Tyler. In Nazi Germany, they killed the communists and the other socialists. And it's like, yeah. And there's nothing that mirrors that in our modern internet architecture at all. It would just be completely impossible when you consider how all of the socialists and anarchists and communists get along. It would just be impossible to think that one group of them would just kill all of the other ones if they got in the way of power. That would be just insane, wouldn't it? Fucking dipshit. It's authoritarianism. It is raw fascism. That's actually what it is. That's why it's so easy to call everybody a fascist. And that's what the thing. Old fucking Jon Stewart's still kind of reaching out to people. You gotta fucking chill out with this. He's not doing the obvious thing. He's not doing what I'm doing because it wouldn't be valuable here. Yeah, that is what fascism is. That's what it does. That's where it goes. That's the fucking case, right? In Jon Stewart's area, it's not valuable to say we're acting like the real fascists here because it'll completely derail the conversation. It doesn't really have any value because you can just describe the things that are going bad anyway. First off, the reason why this is stupid is because there is never going to be a person who is bombastic and charismatic enough to single-handedly or by creating not an oligarchy, but just a core vanguard of people, not an oligarchy, just a small group of the best of us at the top of the society that control it from the top down for our benefit and have more power and rights than all of us combined. Not an oligarchy, but a vanguard instead. Or maybe at the top of the vanguard, a single person, not a dictator, right? But just a true leader of the party at the top with all of the authority and power. So not a dictator though. And when we find the person who is charismatic and perfect enough and all this stuff, but can also be trusted with the limitless power of and authority of endless rule over a nation, then we'll have communism. Fuck, it's so stupid.
Planes falling from the
Black
sky,
women are going to save us.
tumultuous weather events. We want shit happening. We want stories. Every day there needs to be a new miracle, a new disaster. We want hype. And we want aura moments, essentially. I want every Democratic politician aura farming nonstop, okay? I want every single one of them posing in the you had to give it to them, hands clasped across the crotch pose every time there's a camera on them. All the time. And they need to dress better. Start smoking cigars in public, Do your best Al Capone cosplay. I don't give a shit. Aura farm. Yep, it's DEI or DI.
If you are a real communist, you would have said Fidel Castro. If you were a real communist, you would have said Fidel Castro.
Anytime I say, people look at me and go, but the polling said the Dems wanted to go more moderate, shoot me, Vaush, shoot me. Yeah, and imagine if Republicans listen to polling data. We might not be on the brink of total nationwide collapse right now. Sorry, Mr. Trump, it's 2021 and we've done some polling, and it turns out that the Republicans and Americans broadly don't actually want anything you're proposing. And then they went and did it anyway. And then they won. I don't actually think people would like an unelected half a trillionaire cutting up the government with unilateral authority and no oversight, cutting Social Security and Medicaid. Who cares? They did it anyway. Or a farm. Don't poll the people on what they want. The people are stupid. Don't ask them whether or not they want more moderate Dems. If they wanted more moderate Dems, then why the f does the average Democrat, why does the average American vote for referendum policies to the left of what the Democrat politicians offer? Why is it that Medicare for All is more popular than the Democrats who push it, or pushed it, depending on, you know, how opportunist they wanted to be at that given point in time? The voters are stupid, so treat them like they're stupid. Don't pretend that they're not. Don't expect them to follow the news. Don't expect them to be familiar with the ins and outs of politics.
How are you saying the voters are stupid? Does Vaush think he follows the news? You can't really follow the news if you don't understand what people are saying, by the way. Just the fucking pictures of shit. I mean, I'm going to let it go. There's not too much to say that I haven't already said here.
Aura. We want aura. I want personality cults. I want people wearing DNC merchandise as a daily wear. They have their MAGA hat. Okay. Have Butch walking around downtown Chicago with official branded DNC carabiners or whatever. Okay. Aura. Woke socks. Precisely. Yeah, I remember the.
So we're just doing uniforms. It sounds like it. Oh, he's just making a joke. He's just kidding. Dude, we're fucking talking about uniform dress and charisma. Oh, we're talking about expanding a political organization, and the rate of success for it is like this just capitalist fucking expression of buying all this stupid shit and adorning yourself in the fucking object trophies of this of this political fucking org. It's just so goofy to me. I don't know how much of it is a joke or not, and that's kind of the problem with Vaush is too much of it. It's the same thing with like Ethan Klein and stuff, where it's too much of it is a joke. Too much of it's stupid sounding, and you can't really find where there's a moment where there's like a low enough point in the water to see where the fucking bedrock of an actual ideal is, aside from the continued return to basically countering fascism with fascism, which is a pretty reasonable response to fascism. You do need it after a degree to kind of do stuff like that, but it's a much more complicated conversation than we got to make sure we have DNC branded carabiners because our cult of personality has gone so crazy. I guess Butch people are wearing carabiners now. Is that like a Washington thing?
The polls when everyone wanted us to pull out of Afghanistan, and then Biden did, and his approval ratings collapsed and never recovered. Yeah, I remember. Carabiners. Yeah. I wouldn't know. Sorry, I'm not a lesbian. Though I yearn like they do sometimes, because I'm a different kind of guy. Bring your 26.
One clip. The whole thing is only 16 and a half minutes long, and I still can't get a single fucking Vaush clip where we don't have some like Gooner Chaser shit or Vaush secretly believes he's a black lesbian woman. Confirmed again. I mean, watching me on this thing, I was like, no, he's not. I was like, I thought we were gonna get to the end of it, and then we. Where's the funny part and where's the not funny part? You're like, why are you always laughing at your jokes? I mean, at least you can tell when I'm fucking trying to kid. He just said, but I yearn as they do. Hey, yo, lesbians, my man said, I know what it's like. He's out there. Vaush out there serenading the fucking lesbians of the world with his with an everlast cover of What It's Like. And then you really might know what it's like. What it's like. And then you really might know what it's like to be a black lesbian. Vaush out here. He knows your fucking struggle, bro. He yearns as you do. He says, man, I got it. I'm down, man. I'm down. I know what it's like. Vaush at the fucking Subaru dealership with a fucking carabiner, like. I'm gonna fucking die,
Team
bro.
Field to burn T-shirts out. I want people treating their preferred politicians, you know, like with the personality cult, basically. Like this. There's a Bernie Sanders staffer who's aura farming with a gorgeous, I'm gonna say, cavalry twill, navy blazer, white Oxford cloth button-down shirt, classic chinos, and a gigantic campaign sticker across the laptop. He's got the
I don't know why that fucking like hurt to hear. Every time I hear button down Oxford cloth, I just remember this. If I hear the words Oxford cloth at all, I just remember, it just makes me think of Fight Club. Someday this button down Oxford cloth psycho is going to walk from cubicle to cubicle with an Armalite AR-15 gas-powered carbine, pumping round after round after round into his coworkers. Did I memorize that speech when I was in high school? Yes, but not for the reasons you may believe. I just really like that movie.
Bernie hat. We need everyone looking like this, but for whoever's running in 2028 all the time. Not just college campuses, okay? This shit needs to be everywhere.
Bro, you gotta have arms that are thicker than a fucking Q-tip and a jawline to pull this off. This is a very much a Vaush could never type vibe, but like, bro, he's just a dude. Like, literally, he's just saying, I don't even know if it's that Oxford cloth. Yeah, okay. I can't see on this screen, but on this one, yeah. Yeah, it's a button-up shirt. Yeah, a button-up shirt and khakis, bro. Talk about my man wore khakis and he's got a little fucking suit coat on top. Yeah. Okay. You know who dresses like this every day? Fucking frat boys. This is how you fucking spend most Thursdays. Bro said, get a fucking hat. I got a hat and a Bernie sticker. Okay. Is that it? Fucking. It's so strange to have a fucking segment that starts with not understanding Jon Stewart saying that the aesthetics of leftist talking points and, you know, further left and center liberal talking points are so focused on a critique of aesthetics. That's what calling people fascist, by the way, is. That's why the single word that like knocks people out, oh my God, you made an act, oh God, I gotta destroy myself. It's because when people are completely focused on maintaining aesthetics because they're hollow and there's nothing to them, they get so hyper fixated on aesthetics that actually a impugnment of their aesthetic is a sufficient criticism at times, or at least sufficient to cause them some sort of like discomfort, right? Fucking Jon Stewart's entire point is that the aesthetic of the word fascist and the aesthetic of the modern political environment do not have a moment where that word meets the standard day-to-day person hearing it, and it affects the aesthetics of the individual. You do not have the way that a Republican candidate is acting, or the way that this staffer is behaving, or these kind of policies that they're passing. There's no moment where there's an intersection between the aesthetics that they're putting forth as a member of Congress are affected by that word anymore. That's the point of it. The single word approach to destroying your credibility is an aesthetics-based approach. Vaush ending this or curbing this into a conversation where he's saying we're not as hyper fixated on aesthetic as we absolutely need to be in the most puerile manner, the most just absolutely surface level of just the dress. Not dress because of what it can infer and what it can accomplish, and because that is the first in many steps, but because that is the entirety of it. A desire for aesthetic increase, and that is sufficient. Not the interaction of the aesthetic increase with and the aesthetic validation of the people that perceive it. You know what I mean? Where you take your perception onto the market and then it's received. Not saying, well, we are in a standpoint and we need to get here by doing thing. That's what I was trying to tell you earlier. I was talking about the aesthetics of hiding your power level, i.e. learning how to articulate yourself in a fucking day-to-day environment. With him, it is this highly surface level down to team aesthetics, like literally team jersey shit, and bombast with a big fucking series of underpants gnomes question marks of how you actually achieve that and take that to market, and it alters the market perception of the ideals that you're trying to sell to people, or the ideals that you're trying to damage the reputation of other people's ideals with. No, can't focus on that. That's why Vaush has to maintain surface. It has to maintain surface level understanding, and you can't go down. He does not want to read. Pictures only. Vibrant, immediate, emotional messages only, because it's surface level. He is a fascist. Sorry, we're done now. We finished the thing I was setting up. I can no longer walk away from it because now, obviously, it's pretty much in plain sight. He wants simplistic, Nazi-style fascism. Yes, I'm sorry to say it. We can go with communist style. It is pure aesthetic. Uniform approach to articulation of ideas, a sense of de-individualization for the benefit and continued preservation of the message that will someday be delivered by some perfect person who has not yet arrived. It might be me. Might be me. Could be me. Could be somebody else. You know what I mean? Because eventually someone will save us. We will find a perfect ideal. What does that mean? What does that sound like? Yes, because we all must search for our own inner Aryan. In this case, it's going to be some schlubby fuck from Washington who's really down with chasing. You know what I mean? You have articulated your ideal. Your ideal has been articulated. You have a perfect ideal. And now we must make everybody measure to match. That is the path toward fascism. That is why socialism and social causes and populism lead in that direction. And the best that you're ever going to accomplish if you're on the small side, which you are right now as a leftist, is being considered a terrorist, because that's what you have to do to get ahead. Vaush should debate you on this. Oh, wait. I mean, really. So this is how you articulate the whole issue. This is why you have to know what the fuck is. If you know the history, if you read deeper than the pictures, if you try to focus on these things because you want them to be better, yes, you have to criticize them. If I finish this and everybody fucking hates me, they're like, there's been nobody that did more damage to the perception of socialists in this country than Tyler. But it actually ends up with people stopping doing the thing that the perception hit you on, right? Like, okay, that's actually what was really fucking us up. We never have to give him credit, but it actually starts working. I'll take it, because that's what the fucking win condition is. The win condition is getting my way. I don't give a fuck about perception. Have you ever had money? Have you ever been not afraid? It's fucking great. You know what's cool? People hating you? Oh, who gives a shit? You know what's fucking better? Money. You know what's better? Confidence. You know what's better? Safety. I love those things. They're fucking amazing. Have you ever been unsafe? Have you ever been outside when it's cold and you can't go inside? Have you ever been unable to do the thing that you want to do because you're thinking about it, but somebody won't let you? Fucking horrible, right? You know what's better? The money and the power and the confidence. And you know what you have to do to get it? Whatever you got to do, right? And if you want to maintain it in a non-psychotic way, you got to share it with everybody. That's the thing. That's the trick. Either one person can have it and keep losing it again and again and no one else gets it, or you can make the better gamble and make sure everyone gets it. If everybody gets the security and the access to money and the access to safety and the access to feeling okay on a day-to-day basis, the access to the ability to go places when they want to and not feel like they're stuck all the time and fucking chained to the ground wherever they stand, even if they're moving, then it perseveres. That is the value of actual socialism and socialist practices when they're put in. And then everything down the line is figuring out how to maintain that goal. Aesthetics are worthless. Hate me. I don't give a fuck. I keep saying that. All you have to do is simply not care. And then that's done. Oh, you figured out the first of the last rules. Simply stop caring. I don't know how to do that. Figure it out. And then one day it'll happen and you go, oh, shit. And then it's like the first time that Neo does the Matrix thing. And then later on, you're fucking flying. That's the trick. Oh, but it is all aesthetics. And understand, aesthetics don't end when you start articulating them. Aesthetics that are not skin deep or not more than skin deep end up being very skin deep too, by the way. It's not hard to go from you have to dress a certain way to all the rest of it if there's not an underlying reason for that. If ultimately socialism would be advanced and the best thing for the cause was for everybody to be just like, I don't know, wearing just a series of stitched together banana skins and some sort of series of great coats all day and you walk around in slippery banana peels and it's like, what, socialism is happening right now? We would do that instead. It's because of what the effect is that's done, not just because if that thing happens, there's an idea of what can be articulated. It's because it will do a thing. That's the point. Do the thing. Accomplish the result. Get your way. What's better? Wow, a bunch of people on Twitter liked me. I got so many little red dots. Yeah, the capitalists found a way to get you addicted to a red dot appearing on your phone, you fucking idiot. Just let everybody hate you and then get your way. Wake up one day and all of a sudden all like the fucking NLRB because of some psychotic thing you did has voting rights again. You know what I mean? Or you at least participated in it. What? Did you think that, like, have you ever noticed that when all the black kids started going to school that everyone was yelling at them and telling them they were doing the wrong thing and like one of the kids got hit in the face with a brick? When you start hyperfixating on simply the immediate dislike of yourself, right? And not focusing on how to accomplish your goals, you'll get swept into other people's ideas of you. Know why you're doing it. Know why it's happening, okay? Get in there. If this is all confusing and you're like, but this way, you're not ready for it. Trust me. If you have to have a bunch of this shit like cleared up, just take a breath, step back and do some reading. But I'll tell you this right now. Fucking this hyperfixation on pure aesthetic alone is very, very bad. It is very, very, very bad. There's a lot of underpants gnomes moments. There's a lot of start here, arrive there, and then question marks all through the way. Why specifically is that going to accomplish it? What is this? Why do you keep saying aura? Why do you have catchphrases? Why do you have taglines? Why do you have talking points? Because Vaush isn't completely a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Even if he's too stupid to actually be intentionally doing it, he has to understand that certain things that he does have an effect. And when he does them, cause and effect, cause, I do this, effect, I get $10 donos, right? And then I can go have like disgraceful, fucking relations with people I find in internet chat rooms and stuff or whatever the fuck it is he gets up to in his free time. Play a bunch of, I don't know, Minecraft. I don't know what you kids do these days. That's the point of it, right? Keep an eye out for that. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Anyone that says we need to find someone to do all this for us is going to find the wrong person every time. Because if they don't already know how to look or make the person, if you don't have the traits specifically that you want, if you don't have like the goal, like where we got to start, where we got to go, then you're going to find the first person that works with the other traits. And usually if it's confidence, charisma, more ability to convince people than I have, then you'll never really know if you are with them or not, because they're the more charismatic person. Maybe they're tricking you. And Tyler, like, is this true about you? Yes. Always assume I'm out for your worst interests. I don't give a shit. That's fine. I have my own goals. You have your own. Never assume that I'm going to do everything that's for you and good. Okay? Assume I'm a bad person. Do it. That's fine. Literally. And bring that same energy to everybody else that you talk about. Because if they won't say that, if they're ever like, if you don't feel like you ever had the need to double check someone, that's why you keep getting surprised. If you're like, not another one let me down. Well, consider how you keep getting let down. Are you doing it on purpose? Do you want to be deceived? Or is there something about you that's letting you get tricked? Doubt is what I want from people. Doubt. That's the only thing I ask. A few bucks wouldn't hurt, but doubt is the thing I want to sow and spread and seed into people's minds. Be suspicious of everybody you think that you can give $1 to, especially if you can't ever make them account for it. You know what I mean? There's no chat for a fucking elected official, not really. You're never going to be able to debate fucking Tim Pool. Can't do that to fucking Mitch McConnell. He's too busy, too important. So think.
Bring wokeness back. Could fascism be used for good? What the f are you saying? Could Hitler be used for good if you pointed him at landlords instead of Jews? What are you talking about? Fascism? No? We need everyone dressed like this. Do you think I'm joking? Do you think I'm making a joke? Do I seem like I'm joshing to you? It's the era of populism. That means aura, that means personality cults, okay? Democrats need to be hogging the camera all the time they have, okay? Everything they can do. How can we possibly win if we don't, if the Democrats don't inspire so much faith in the population that people aren't walking around wearing their merchandise all the time? So we need to primary every single Democrat? Trump didn't need to primary all the neocons. A lot of them fell into line.
Is this just like a sneaky way to get him to buy people to buy his merch, right? If you have someone in politics that has real charisma, you'll walk around in their merch all the time. It's just a crazy thing for a socialist to say. Maybe not even a socialist, but anybody that's like approaching communism. What you really need to do is just be clad in team colors all the time. Is a little bit bonkers, you know. It's so strange, especially because it's like DNC wear. You know, like neutral, like at least by the candidate stuff. You know, and if you do it, you should be walking around like wearing a handmade armor suit of front yard signs. You know, the little fucking like the front yard planters. I think they call them planters. Those little signs with two. You should put together a whole gigantic Gundam cosplay made out of like fucking Nader for president ass fucking yard signs.
Once it became clear that Trump was the top dog. I think that would happen with a lot of Democrats. Right now, they listen to their consultants. They listen to the inner circle of the DNC. If some real populists started making real waves, I think a lot of them would end up kowtowing. But it's going to take a lot of work.
We already had that. We had Bernie Sanders and it didn't work. Bernie Sanders was pure aura. They made him cut his hair. Remember when Bernie Sanders had a fucking gigantic fucking like Azumaki or whatever the hell his name is from fucking Ghost in the Shell ass hair all sprayed out and shit. No, if they're listening to people that give them money, they don't give a fuck about a cult of personality. You have to do way more than that. Donald Trump also happens to be a billionaire. You know what I mean? Like we have those around. This is how you end up with Mark Cuban for dictator.
FDR parade float back. That's what I mean. We need this for our 2028 candidate, and it's not going to be Kamala fucking Harris. Now that I'm looking at it blown up rather than just like on my phone screen or whatever, that's a really good bust. Like that's actually a really high quality sculpt. This is not like some 2-bit thrown together thing. Like an artist really crafted the shit out of this. It's actually life-sized. Yeah, of course. Where's the rest of the guy? Well, he was famously disabled. Democrat branding is generally really lame. I can't imagine a version of it that isn't just blue MAGA. Remember Jeb? Yeah. Yeah, the blue MAGA shit's not going to work. You need to like develop an authentic meanness that isn't just like a pale reflection of what the other side offers. For one really important thing that
for too long in this country, we have been soft on the weakest elements. We have been permissible. We have not held them to the fire that we are held to as workers. When we come to you always got to be aware of it. If you're dealing with socialism, it's the best way to go, because otherwise you get monarchism. Which way, Western man? You always got to be careful, because it's right there. Once I start pointing it out, you're gonna start seeing it. It's a sneeze, and it's there all the time. You got to be careful about it with everybody, because the socialist preconditions, this has always been right, can lead immediately to fascism. Like a snap. Fucking Thanos your entire fucking movement into like, I thought we were doing this for the workers. And it's like, yeah, I know you thought that, you dummy. That's why we did all the rest of this shit.
to remember is that the right is actually, like big pundits, are these sniveling, disingenuous nitwits who like take off the mask when they're done with their program and go home to like, their mistress or whatever. Like they're not really putting their backbone into it because they're dickless cowards. There's no actual like bravado in what they do. Same with their politicians. Elon has an incredibly thin ego. So does Donald Trump. Remember Tucker Carlson getting confronted in that restaurant You remember that shit? This guy, he's Nazi on screen to the biggest audience in the world, and then some guy in a coffee shop is like, hey, f you, man, and Tucker Carlson's like, me? Me? A birthday boy like me? What do you mean, me? What did I do? I did nothing. Like, they're massive pussies. So you don't want to reflect that. The only reason they get away with it is because they have so much capital backing them up. You need real meanness. We called them Bernie bros, and
I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me right now. What the fuck? I saw 2 goddamn planes follow this guy, and all of a sudden I'm feeling like considerably more revolutionary. I have been. I'm fucking staying up just thinking fucking crazy thoughts. Tyler's spicy drawings is a segment I've been thinking of, and I do not mean anything remotely pornographic. Anarchist manifesto grade shit. Or the Anarchist Handbook. I don't know what the Anarchist Manifesto is. If that I'm going to find out that that's like some sort of ultra racist fucking murder book or something. Anarchist Cookbook, I think is actually what it's called. Yeah. I don't know. I like the idea of just that part of capital where it was like the strictures of capital and the strength of its ability to demean the working man and to take the soul of a society and turn it on its head and create a situation of pure greed and money for the creation of money's sake. And the way to turn back the onslaught of capital is with some meanness. It's just great to me. I guess depending on how you define meanness, I mean, if it's like, you know, slaughtering the fucking Russian royal family or something, okay. Just wow, capital is really like subsuming all things into itself. The guy that just told us we need to start buying more campaign merch in the off season is just like, and you know what really will take capital's fucking weight off of the shoulders of the working man? We need to be a little bit more mean. I don't even know where that criticism goes. I don't know if that's like a valid thing. Like somebody, scholars 20 years after said that this criticism from Tyler to the Ian Kaczynski was like, I know it's just the most nitpicky piss pants shit on my part, but there's something very deeply comedic about it. Like wonderful. Like it's just amazing. Like why? That's the point you made? I like that. Just look, what you need to do is buy way more campaign merch, join a cult of personality, and be a little meaner to people that are doing the exact same thing, but have infinitely more fucking money than you. I really like it. I like it. It's like, you know what you need to do to prove the billionaires wrong? You need to find one really strong millionaire and train him. Oh my God, dude.
The DNC tried to shut them down because the biggest insult people like Hillary Clinton have for energetic populist young men is to call them men. How did bro become an insult? I guess I do the same with tech bros, but I'm not really accusing tech bros of being...
Dude, I just can't. I do this. I know the feeling. Sometimes, because you know, hey, I'm no purist, right? Sometimes you just do bad things because sometimes you feel like it. Sometimes a bad thing is the right thing to do. So you end up saying like, "Well, I do that thing, actually, yeah." But it's just funny as fuck for him to say like, and she says, "Men is an insult." Like, when does bro become bad? I do say that tech bros are. Just watching him go through a series of Simpsons skits in a row in one like 20-minute fucking 16-minute video where he does is the children the problem? Am I part of the problem? No, it must be the children. I just love it, bro. It's fucking God tier.
Being aggressively masculine. If anything, I'm kind of doing the opposite. I'm kind of saying like tech bros are, you know, dickless. Who is Aura currently in the Dems? Nobody.
I need to drink water. Hold on. Oh my god. I don't know when men became an insult. I use it. Why is bro a pejorative? I use it as a pejorative, but when I use it, I only use it to identify people as men and then emasculate them by cutting their dicks off, making them not men, i.e., women. I would never attack masculinity. Why would anyone do such an awful thing? I would only use masculinity to attack femininity. I will only ever attack women. I swear to God. God is my witness, young man. You are safe. I would never insult a man. 'Cause no man would be insulted by me. I find you dickless and therefore inferior. I just don't even know. It's just God, dude. Lord, I'm shocked. I would never engage in misandry when misogyny is right there. Because I support men, except for men that have been emasculated, who aren't real men anymore. Is that like some sort of is that like a Manchurian code for like some sort of self-esteem issue in the trans community where you're just like, I like that for some reason. Like it's like you know, like poison that like makes you feel good even though it's actually like really bad for you, and you know you should, you're like, damn it, that stung, but like for some reason I needed that. I needed him to say that. I don't know why. What the fuck? Oh my God, bro. Why are people saying at? That is that a thing, or is my computer eating up your text? A bunch of strong men in identical suits using tactical slurs and hating women. Just, we've never had that before. My man identified literally a guy that dresses like every dude I was ever in a fraternity with. Said, this is the ideal. We need to move toward it. Do not act dickless or emasculated. Do not let women insult you. One thing, that stupid, the only female politician I brought up in this whole, that stupid bitch Hillary Clinton, that dumb fucking broad. How dare she impugn men? When did men become a bad word anymore? Yes, I've used it. You guys ever seen Real Hollywood Stories with Charlie Murphy? And you hear fucking, it was Rick James. Charlie Murphy said, he's got delusions of grandeur. I never do that. So I did do that. I did do that thing. He's like, woo, and it rewinds and he says it again. Like, it's fucking fine. My man just checked all the way out. Oh, God damn it. Fuck, that's fucking funny.
In the Dems has aura right now. The only one in recent memory who did was Fetterman, and we all know how that went. AOC. No, AOC. Stop just saying her name every time.
Fetterman, and we know how he turned that all out. AOC, shut the fuck up! bring that Latino whore into this fucking conversation again. Reaction. Yo, dude, when you're a femme presenting fucking cis woman, all right, then you gotta be a lesbian, right? And then fucking anything that he has had sex with, and then Vaush, and then actual just any fucking Republican standard looking guy you've ever seen. And then they're gonna come into my comment. They're gonna come into my comment section and be like, "You were in the military, so I don't like you very much." And it's like, bro, Vaush told me that I'm your new dad. I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually the guy he's telling you to be like, and it takes me no effort at all because I am part of the racist ruling class of the country. I'm not, I just look like it. You know what I mean? He's telling you to adopt the aesthetics of the fucking college young Republicans. And then shitting on women. Just cis women getting fucking owned by fucking by rights icon Vaush video. What in the fuck, dude? Oh my god. Shut the fuck up about AOC is nuts. Like, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get bored with you guys. I'll start reacting like crazy to my chat, but it gets fucking lit like instantaneously.
Time, dude. You like AOC. I do too. Stop. Like, who should be president? AOC? You just saying it because you like her. No, she doesn't have aura. That's not what I'm talking about. Stop making me talk her down every time. Like, I like AOC. You guys put me in a position to shit talk her every time because anytime anyone says...
They just said a nice...
anything like, who's a good politician? You all rush to her, but you say it in any case, so even when it's inapplicable, and then I have to talk your asses down. Tim Walz at aura?
What the fuck is the appropriate reaction to that would be let's go some further education, because chat seems to only know one good female politician after watching me for forever for some reason. For some reason, after watching me for a long time, we only know one female politician that we can name in chat. I don't know that, man. I'm fucked up on it right now too, because I can't think of anyone but people that I have problems with immediately. Name 3 women now. Go. My brain's trying to pull a Maya Angelou parachute like a fuck absolute MacGruber. Not a politician. This entire exchange is nuts. Stop mentioning this unironically highly successful, despite her reputation as being like a hot fucking, like a hot groomed for fucking Congress to impress millennials, like Latino woman who actually is like an extremely competent and capable fucking politician, despite who like helped her win Cenk Uygur and his fucking crew. Like, she's actually an exceptional, like generationally exceptional politician. Like, okay, did she accomplish communism? No. Is she always perfect? Obviously not. But as far as political people go in Congress, she's weathered more storms than any person I have ever seen. People are mad. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a fucking congresswoman. She doesn't fucking matter at all. Unless she's on like certain like, you know, like committees and shit. You understand that, right? Like, her political career is actually, like, aside from a note of trivia, worthless to me, because I live in fucking Kentucky. I have my own congresspeople. They're valuable to me. People in other states talk constantly about how they fucking hate a congresswoman from another state. Not even a district. A different district in their state. That's how impactful Ocasio-Cortez's presence alone in Congress is. She should be brought up a lot. She's actually very, very good at politics. If she was what people thought she was when she got elected, this like pulled up from nothing bartender chick who can't do much, but like, oh, she's good looking and she's cute. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Yes, literally misogyny. Yes, literally misogyny about her. Then she wouldn't still be there, right? But she has shown the ability to push back on the highest aspects of Congress. Like, she was going so hard, Nancy Pelosi had to basically drag her aside and fucking like, we'll destroy your career if you don't support Israel right now level shit. Where like Ocasio-Cortez was like pissed. I think she had that moment right there. Hopefully she doesn't like check out completely. But she might have had a moment right there where she went, I'm going to fucking kill you people. I hope that was her vibe. I'm going to play ball. I'm going to get as deep in here and I'm going to make some shit fucking happen when it actually counts. Type thing. Like, yes, you should bring up Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She is on our side more than most other people. I know you're like, oh, she does it every day she gets up in Congress. She doesn't immediately pull out a pistol and start firing in the direction of Marjorie Taylor Greene or some shit. You know what I mean? I understand that, like, that's some people's approach to politics. It's like, I play a lot of Fortnite and sometimes I watch Vaush, you know? But no, she deserves a lot of respect. She is a very competent and capable leader in her district. She has participated at every fucking level of Congress. She gets in there. She does shit. Nobody's fucking perfect. And she's weathered storms and maintained electability and maintained the support of her district to a level that she is not a drain on campaign reelection funds, which is kind of sometimes the most you can ask of somebody. You're a vote that doesn't cost anything on our side is a crazy fucking good thing in Congress. Understand that. Like, that is sometimes, yeah, the bar that people don't meet. Other people from districts around her are taking bribes from Egypt. You know what I mean? Like, they're a gigantic, massive liability alone. Like, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez gets criticism because she's not fucking Stalin, like, with a mustache and everything every time she gets out there. It's absolutely absurd. No, you are right. If someone says, name a good female politician or a good, like, cis politician woman, whatever however you want to articulate it, and they say Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, if you're on my side of the aisle, that is a good answer. That's a good answer every time. You can start with that. It's like, okay, is it basic? Yeah, sure. It's like, hey, name a civil rights icon. And you say, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's not the most, like, crazy, but yeah. Oh, why do you bring him up every time? Because he's fucking Martin Luther King Jr. He's the guy from the dangerous street signs. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, yeah, that's a good answer. Civil rights icon? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Rosa Parks? Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of history. Sure. That's a good answer. Malcolm X? Yes. That's a good fucking answer. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, there you go. The response to that is, oh, fucking bringing up Martin. Could you imagine? You know, I just want some more civil rights icons that are out there that are effective. And someone says, Martin Luther King. Can you stop fucking talking about Martin Luther King Jr. all the fucking time? I want to say, like, could you imagine that reaction? Think about it. It's the same thing. You got a fucking really effective, very leftist politician on our side. Happens to be a young woman, which is rare as fucking Congress. If you've noticed, the young women are broken into two camps. For some reason, political literal prostitutes on the fucking GOP side. I don't know why they keep doing things like having sex with all these people and getting into affairs, but they do that. They give handjobs in theaters. And then on our side, it's like a few non-white women who are gathered into a little fucking literal group that is not always necessarily like, hey, do you know all the other black girls? Like, they talk about it like that's in a crew. Like, like every time they walk in there, everyone fucking starts pointing at them. Like, is that not nuts? That is actually fucking crazy. And they still get along with that, get through. Maybe they're, you know, on it and stuff, but that squad shit, I've always thought was like, I'm not going to take it away from them, but it is kind of, you guys just made a little group name for the young brown women. Just, okay. I thought that was strange. I don't know. It's not really my place to speak on outside of that, but like, That's the thing. It's a weird reaction. It bears excessive scrutiny, I think, on my part. You would do that. It was just a joke. It was just a bit. It was just a little gag, a gaffe, a curious moment.
No, he didn't. Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom does have some aura, but he's not our ally. Does Omar have aura? Okay, do you guys know what the word means? Hold on, we might need to start again from first principles. Are you guys just copying words that I say? Yes. Okay. Let's not talk about this anymore. You're just gonna make me mad. You gotta explain aura farming. I'm really sorry, just like I got complacent there because I spent too long watching Northern Lion videos where his audience has the same basic like age bracket as mine. But when he says stuff like aura farming, everyone in his community knows what he means and nobody in mine does. And it's because you guys came here like politics first and it's a YouTube. It's a YouTube
I feel like you're just cringe.
stream, not a Twitch stream. So like the culture is very different in terms of like what people are engaging with. You're just gonna annoy me, okay? You all need a little more brain rot. Otherwise you're not gonna win the culture war, okay?
Wow. Another great one from our last one left. Tyler, why do you keep attacking leftists? Am I? Am I? I am going to get comments when this video comes out. I'm going to get comments from people where they're going to say, like, you are like red fascist young Republican looking ex-military child kill, all this stuff, blah blah blah. You hate the left. I don't know why you keep attacking leftists. And that's the guy I just reacted to, who is like one of the big two now. Can we say big two? Is it too early to ring the fucking big iron bells for old fucking Destiny? Probably do. It's probably too early for them big old black bells to fucking just ring his funeral in the procession. But the leftover two, right? And I just want that other chunk to fall. I think I can tolerate a Hassan at this point. I like it. Now that the genocide is over and his cringe paused and his cringe quotient has decreased substantially, and then he took a series of dubs in a row, like Hassan has calmed down a bunch, and so he's become infinitely more tolerable. And just being upset at him doesn't make him go away. And I gotta say, of the remainders, I could tolerate a one of him for sure compared to the other two, especially now that we're like in current era. Vaush just needed to go for a while. But like, goddamn. That's going to be like, you're attacking leftists. Am I? Because people keep telling me I'm attacking leftists, and then all I hit is a solid fucking wall of sludge that is just anti-worker sentiment, anti-fucking blue-collar people sentiment, anti-poor people sentiment, no secondary or post-secondary education, are you supposed to say? No secondary education, no college education sentiment, wallet watchers, fucking poor people shamers, people that just want to fucking shit on their lessers and create these fucking fascist setups in their little fucking workout where they're like, yeah, well, all we got to do is get to a point where we make enough purchases that we outspend billionaires and fucking meanness them out of existence. Like, yeah, we got to do a little terrorism, little genocide, right? God damn it, dude. I in the intellectual caliber of clapping seals, bro, it's fucking rough. Denovian, I just got to be honest here. I don't think Vaush is the one who can be a subject matter on this aura thing, $5. I got to agree. I can't take a man talking about other dudes being dickless who's got arms that look like his arms. He looks like diseased. I don't think he's picked up a thing. I don't know. Like, I got a water bottle. It's a liter, and it's made out of metal. It weighs like, I don't know, 5-ish pounds or something. I don't know if Vaush could pick one of these fucking things up. I'm not even kidding. Like, his arm goes straight down. He's built like a fucking Adventure Time character. I don't know how that happens, and then he's talking about emasculating people. It's always guys that can't, like, they don't get respect from women and shit, like second-rate dudes that say all that hyper-misogynist shit nonstop, you know? Like, a little bit here, you know, you get your if you behave yourself, you could call this or that lady a bitch one time. All right. You got to weather the slings and arrows that come with it too. You can't go like, oh, come, why can't I say? You can't say it's a bad thing to say. If everyone gets mad at you, then you have to go, all right, fine. Hit me. If you take your shot on the chin, you got to fire and doing, all right, go ahead, go for it. That's it. But then it's just like constant with this fucking guy. I yearn as they do. That's so weird. My man can barely fucking read half the time, and then he gets for a second thinks about what life would be if he was a lesbian, and he's just fucking start getting wistful and shit. He's like, dude, we're at whole fucking thing talking about dickless, aura, dickless. Oh, whatever the fuck. Okay, cool, fine. It's all right. You don't know how to dress. Nobody knows how to do fashion anymore. I'm like, okay, well, and then like. He starts thinking about being a lesbian for 2 seconds, starts fucking, his internal dialogue starts sounding like Humbert from fucking Alita, like, I yearn as they yearn. That's like a Confederate war soldier and shit, just fucking getting ready to write home. And on the 3rd of April, I did see 2 women walking out of Chattahoochee arm in arm, their bustles bouncing as they approached the carriage stop. And I said to myself when I saw one of them share a suspicious kiss with the other in the moonlight shade of the magnolia trees, I do yearn as they yearn, and I knew it to be true inside me, that I'm a man living as a lesbian.